I know the season is really driving most of you crazy. I was actually in the company of somebody who told me after hearing the Christmas song, he said, "Oh my God, this is stress for me." I hope it is not the same way for you. Christmas is all about having fun and enjoying. I call it merrymaking in a brief. But otherwise, how is your evening? How has been your day? It's another weekend as yet fabulous as it is since we are in company of good people, beautiful people. And so I bring you nothing but love. You know that very well. And of course, every single evening when it comes around this time, we are talking nothing but love. It is the glory of love with me, MC Shugga, the King of Hearts, definitely. And today on the show, I have something quite exclusive. It is going to be a very different experience because the person I'm going to host or I'm going to have on my show is one that I look at as a source or a bank of a lot of information that so many of you have been missing, or probably if you hear it from her, it will sound better because she knows how to echo it better. Otherwise, she is none other than Sheila Ajok Lubankene. Yeah, for some of you who are good readers of books, you must have come across the book called Still a Mom. I have a copy with me right here, and I will be giving you guys reasons as to why you should read this book, or else even before the show ends, you would have realized that you really need to look for a copy of this book and read it. I have read it more than 3 times, not because of the information only, but the art she has applied. And now coming to the information, it is even too much. Otherwise, I don't want to be the one to spill the entire, information. But Sheila is right here with me. And so let's get down to what we are going to discuss right now. All right, welcome to this segment. I usually call it the discussion room, but it is going to be more interactive, most especially for your own sake. So this is where I expect you to pay maximum attention. One more time, I am with Sheila Ajok Lubankene, an author and so many other titles. She is so decorated, super decorated. I want her to be the one to break down the other titles because I might say them the wrong way or else even fail to say them in their totality. But one thing I can tell you about Sheila is that this book, Still a Mom, is an amazing book. It is one that talks to young couples. It is one that talks to couples that have already been there for quite some time, but things seem not to be moving the right way, most especially when they are faced with issues concerning fertility. I've said so much, but let me first allow Sheila to introduce herself.
Thank you, MC Shugga.
Yes,
it's
please.
A privilege to be here and
My
be
pleasure.
hosted by you.
Yes.
I always get, I feel humbled and honored when I'm invited to such shows. And I'll get straight to the introduction. My name is Sheila Ajok Lubankene, and I'm an author of a published book called Still a Mom. And I also have a daytime job at Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. I work in the communications department, and I love writing. I'm passionate about writing.
Okay.
And very, very recently got awarded 2 weeks ago by the Christian Literature Communications in Kenya.
Kudos.
As for Author of the Year in the family category for Still a Mom.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
so
That's
I'm
when you should be
fresh.
clapping. You should be clapping, She represented us in Kenya. One thing that surprises me is this book, I don't know, if you compare the attention that it has given people around Uganda and beyond the borders, what is your comparison like that?
It hits everyone different.
Okay.
That's one thing I've noticed about it, and most people relate a lot to it. They tell me, I know somebody who has been through this. I have a family member who is walking through this journey, and then they also tell me I am not going to ask or put people on pressure. My loved ones. They learn about having children and why they're taking too long to have children. So It's a book that has lessons in it. It's a book that's a great conversation starter, and it's a book that makes you think really deeply about your life and your journey.
Wow.
Yes.
If you are the type that always quickly judges people who have taken long to have children, or else you know somebody who is shy to talk about it, or else it captures a very big bracket of people who are either on the negative side or on the positivity. But trust me, there's a lot for you to learn from this book. Now, before we jump onto our topic, where we are going to be talking about 2 items in one. Number 1, we want to discuss the signs of an irresponsible man. So the ladies, this is where you're going to have to get your pen and paper and take some notes, so that at the end of the day, you realize and learn to accept and see these red flags, because ignoring them may be troublesome for you. But before we shift and look at that topic in specific, I want Sheila, you to give us a brief breakdown of what really happens in Still a Mom, just to give someone a heads up so they can know what they are missing.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Still a Mom is it's a marriage story about a couple that had lived together for 15 years, Mark and Akeo, and it's a narrative. It's a narrative because the character Akeo narrates her marriage journey with Mark, and it's basically a story that flows right from the start of the marriage, and then it goes into the struggle that they're trying for children, and then it just takes you on it's a smooth ride, and it's a narrative, and it takes you through the love and the romance at the beginning, then the very, very difficult and deep moments that they have together as a couple, the moments of faith and hope and prayer, and then it goes up to the climax of, because you keep wanting to know, is she going to have a breakthrough? Is she going to make it with the baby? And then the hopes keep getting dashed. The continuous stillbirths, the continuous miscarriages, then the time that she actually has the baby, and then the baby dies at day 5. And then you just want to know how exactly this is going to turn out. And when the breakthrough finally comes, of course, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read.
Sure.
Yes, there is something that really breaks, that really breaks in the end. But it's a beautiful story.
It's a very, very beautiful story. So captivating and so absorbing, to the point that the moment you start reading one chapter after another, you don't want to stop.
Yes, that's
And for
true.
some of you who fear books for their volumes, I know it is not yet our culture. We haven't grown into it. We would rather prefer sitting on social media for 5 hours, but failing to read a book even for 1 hour.
Yes, true.
So don't worry about the volume. It is really so thin that you can actually read this in less than an hour if you're a faster reader. And if you're a slow reader, still, you will never stop reading. Trust me, the moment you start it. Otherwise, Mark and Akeo's story is a very beautiful one. And I know there are so many Marks and there are so many Akeos out there. And we want to begin talking to you at this stage, because before an Akeo meets a Mark, there is always a different, we have our imaginations, we have our expectations. And then finally, when Akeo meets Mark, together they develop different aspirations. And how their goals are achieved only depends on one thing: if they truly build themselves for one another. And that's where we want to begin it from for today. We want to, first of all, give the girls pointers on how you can identify an irresponsible man from inception. Otherwise, let's come back just in a brief breather, and that's where we're going to be starting from. There are so many men out there who start up very recklessly, who start up not as very good lovers, but at the end of the day, they turn out to be the best husbands when groomed right. And the same thing is going to happen to the ladies. If you're already in a relationship with a man and he is carrying most of the things that we are going to point at, it doesn't mean you should run. We are indirectly telling you how you can actually correct your man. So we are going to first of all point at the mistakes, and then later on, Sheila will still help you through how you can fix your man, and as a man, how you can fix yourself. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, MC Shugga. How do you tell an irresponsible man? What I would really want to tell a young lady out there is, I think for every relationship, at inception, you need to at least begin with a shared vision.
Okay.
And you need to find out, there are questions that we don't ask. Usually we are blinded by love. When you're in love, there are questions that we skip and don't ask. And they are very, very important when beginning a relationship, because for somebody to want to settle down with you, they have to have at least a vision for their lives.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's important that when you begin this relationship, you really just ask, if we are to settle down and take this further, what do you really want out of this? Do you want to have children? Then the financial aspect. One mistake that we make as women or as couples is we get in thinking that the man is going to change. So most people will think they are coming in to change the man.
Okay.
Yeah, if a man is responsible enough, he needs to be hardworking. If you notice any red flags about, he's very comfortable. He's very comfortable probably living off you. He's very comfortable not trying. He has given up on life itself. They have self-pity. Then that's a red flag.
Okay.
I mean, each one of us wants to have a man by our side who is willing to do anything and everything to at least provide.
Okay.
But if that aspect is lacking, and then you find the women are breaking with all the responsibilities, especially responsibilities that focus on gender roles, then it becomes burdensome. So if you notice as a woman that there are excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse, then that's a red flag.
Okay. That's a very weak
red
man.
Flag.
Very big red flag.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the escapist man, always escaping. When you get into a challenge, he will escape.
Run away.
We will run away. The phone will go off. Somehow you're not priority anymore.
In the social media society, we call them the Morifes.
Exactly.
Morife don't run.
Yes. So that's also a red flag.
Okay.
I mean, for how long are you going to continue running? You can't keep running, because in life you have to stop and do something about your
Face
condition.
your fear factor.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Then an irresponsible man really doesn't show you as priority, especially around peers, around family. There are certain things, if you're observant, you can notice. Does he want to introduce you to his peers? Does he want to introduce you to his close people, to his family? Is he always trying to create an excuse for not meeting up on his people?
I got a call from one of the viewers.
Yes.
Who was telling me, but Shugga, I met this guy, I like him, he likes me too. But whenever I ask him if we can go spend some time out, he says he's more comfortable us spending time in his house.
Yes, that's a red flag. I mean, you need to be proud. You need to be proud of your person, of your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that's a sign. That's a sign that
and I've seen men
I appreciate
as well.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've had clashes over men who say, my woman wants me to host her. To me, I want the relationship to be between me and her.
Yes, exactly.
It's not good. I want to. Why would you want your woman to stay in the gallery?
No, I don't mind that. First of all, men are not showy. Okay, majority of men are not showy. You won't find a man's status very active. Especially, there are different things that men will post. Men will post about the latest cars. Men will post about who is winning in the World Cup, the football team that's winning. Men will post about anything that probably encourages another person. But they will not post his girlfriend.
Their girlfriend.
It's a girl thing for us to be showy and happy and express ourselves that yes.
Okay, let's say this man is not posting you.
Yes.
You're posting him and he's not happy about it. What would that be?
That could it could go two ways. there are men who are introverted in nature. They want their privacy respected that way. Then there are others, of course, who will have their agenda at the back of it, who don't want to be exposed for reasons best known to them. And I think you need to agree as a couple, really. These are conversations that are important to have.
How are you going to run this affair?
Yes, these are conversations that are important to have. The same way, even as married people, you need to agree on whether you should post your children, data protection over children. Yes, because it's not even nice to post children. Yes, but that's one thing you have to agree as a couple. Are we going to post the child's birthday? Are we going to post the child on our statuses? So it's a conversation that needs to be agreed on between the two of you.
So you have heard it loud and clear from Sheila. I think the key factor here is communication. How have you two agreed on how this relationship is going to run? Don't start copying and pasting what you're seeing other people do with their relationships. That may cause a clash. Or else don't follow or conversations from other, maybe a couple of your friends who say, why is your boyfriend not posting you? And then you cause trouble or you begin to fight over that. So have a very mutual understanding. It is the reason why the two of you sometimes need to sit together and simply talk about each other. That is very, very important. Let's take a short breather. When we return, still more red flags or more signs of an irresponsible man for you. I'm very sure the men must be saying, okay, not the men actually, it is the women, because at some point we were talking about red flags that would definitely get a man criticized, but Sheila backed them up because she was like, okay, if this guy is not posting you, could be he's an introvert, and I know that some men were taking breath. Like, oh, true, I'm an introvert for real. But still, take very keen observation. Some of these things, if they happen once in a while, we could say, okay, we can excuse them. But if something is happening over and over and over again, don't take it for granted, okay? Otherwise, Sheila here still with me and ready to give you extra red flags. Yes, Sheila.
Okay, thank you for that. And the other sign that a man is irresponsible is, does he care about what you do? Is he interested in probably your work? Is he interested in your business? Is he interested in your strengths? I mean, it's important for a woman to have a supportive spouse, especially when it comes to being like their biggest fan. As women, we love being acknowledged, we like being validated, we like being encouraged that what we are doing is actually an important thing. And there are men who don't express. They don't express. Yes, they don't show it. They are more into what they are doing. They are more into their life is more important than your life. So usually that's also something that needs to be talked about and brought on the table and expressed and say, you know, I would appreciate it if you acknowledged really what I'm doing.
Probably let me ask you this, Sheila. Say for example, there's such a red flag, this man is not supportive at all. There are those that are not supportive, but they don't show you openly that they are not supportive. They keep pretending a little bit. But then there is one that shows you boldly. Now I want to help a very naive woman who is blinded by love, but there are those glimpses of the red flag. When should I know that it is a run for me?
If depending on the period of time that you've been with this person, I mean, you need to be observant.
Okay.
Yeah. These days, men and women are very wise. They are not like back then, when it was very easy to easily fall in love and not even notice. But if you notice that this is kind of a trend, it's something repeated, even when you discuss it, they'll say, okay, I'm going to work on it, but you still see them slump. There's no change. Then you notice, you either settle down for it, or you're good to go.
How long? Because this is now, there's that point when you come to understanding that now this is still do us apart. but the red flags they have now become too bold.
Yes, that's true.
So it becomes a very, very difficult thing, you know.
Yes.
I always keep telling you guys it is not good to settle for less, because most of the times you settle for less, you might suffer the rest of your life. And yet love is supposed to be a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And that's why we are putting on this as an emphasis that please don't take these red flags for granted. All right, let's point at some more red flags.
Yes. The other red flag could be if you're having a discussion of maybe what next, and they're not openly coming out. For example, what you want for your lives together. Do you want to start children? How many children do you want to start? But they are held back. They are held back. This is somebody probably who doesn't even want to have a family with you, and they are not committal. That non-committal aspect of it is something. Yes, sometimes women put men on pressure. Women put men on pressure to settle down, but I think you also have to understand as a woman, especially his financial ability at that moment, and if he has a plan. For example, you know, we are not yet really financially well, but we're going to save towards this. And if you can give ourselves probably 2 years, or we can give ourselves this number of years, then that would work. But then there are those who are not even saying anything about.
Don't say nothing. Oh my goodness.
The situation. They are just stunted, and they're like, "Why are you in a hurry? These things they'll happen at their time."
You know, maybe let me ask this for the women.
Yes.
I know of women who fear or who set for themselves goals even before they fall in love for the first time.
Yes.
The woman is like, I want the first man that I'll fall for to be my last man.
Wow.
And here they are in this relationship where this is the type of man.
Yes.
I want you to give them some small piece of advice
Yes.
that should alert them that it is okay to let go and start all over again.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. In life, not everything works out the way we planned for it to work out, and that's how some people have been trapped in relationships that they could have gotten out of. So everyone has their human right to say no. Enough is enough. Like, it is okay to say no, and not to settle for less. But sometimes now that with social media, there is this aspect of how will I be seen?
Yes.
The fear
Society.
of judgment.
Yes.
The thing about society is real, and it has actually made people lose out.
So much.
And
So much.
it's something that we need to get out of our heads and live for ourselves, not for society.
So,
Yes. For example, you've already posted this person
with this,
repeatedly,
you know,
on your status,
with the crazy,
and it's been,
you know, those taglines,
exactly.
captions.
Yes, and that's where social media is really, really, really misleading us. So even before you post all this, I think people really need to first
Slow
look back
down.
and self-reflect and say, because when you meet this person, a friend meets you probably 1 year later, and they'll start asking you about that person. It gets difficult. You complicate life for yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so
We
I think
need
people
to-
really need to tone down a bit.
True.
Especially on, it's basically you're pleasing society.
True.
You're not doing it for yourself.
You know, society has put us at a point where they make us feel alienated if we don't do things a certain way. And I don't know how it has been for you to surpass that, but there's so many young couples that are trapped in that wave.
Yeah.
And they're just in there in the bubble, and they're helpless.
That's true.
Probably let's give them some heads up on how they can bust their bubble
Yes.
and do things their way and live and do them.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, I think people need to self-reflect before they post anything on their social media pages. Think about, do I want to get asked about this person probably in the next 6 months? Because you know, social media right now is it's just there. Anything you post on social media will remain there
It's
for
on
the rest
record.
of your life.
It's on record.
So even when you are interviewed for a job, the background checks that are done first on social media before they go to your recommenders. So you need to really be very calculative about what you're posting on your personal pages, especially if you're somebody who is into career and you want to go out there and work. So it's something I actually tell young people. Manage your social media page with things that are going to add value to everyone else in society. I know life has changed. It's now about social media, it's now about society, but I think we need to really self-reflect and be very calculative about what I'm going to post on my page for the whole world to see. Okay. Yes.
All right. Do we still have an extra red flag that we should focus on?
I think I'm done with the red flags.
All right.
Yes.
Since we've just closed with the red flags of letting the girls or the ladies know the kind of irresponsible man or things that can help you understand that this man here is very irresponsible. You shouldn't settle down with him. You shouldn't open up so much. And say, for example, now I have finished to see these red flags, and I can see clearly that they are beyond my containment. How do I quit this relationship? That's another question.
Yes.
So someone will be like, okay, Sheila, it's true. I've seen like 8 of the things that you talked about. They are bold, and but I have this and this with this guy. How do I quit?
Yeah, now quitting is never easy. And I remember a friend of mine, there's a phrase that he likes using, something that goes, never get into something you can't get out of. But getting out of something as precious as a relationship is like the hardest thing. When you're dating and you're still at the dating phase, it might not seem as hard as when you're already transformed into the marriage phase. So it's easier at that stage of dating. It's easier to break up. It's easier to explain to this person that, you know what, because of this and this and this and this, I'm sorry, but it's not something I want to spend the rest of my life doing.
What about if you just walk away?
Of my life. Walking away is not a good thing. I mean, everyone needs closure. Everyone needs to know. Someone
will be like, okay, the moment I begin announcing that I'm about to quit, this guy will do anything to keep me.
Yes. And they wake up.
He cannot handle, like, he's not going to do the things that I really aspire for, the things that I really want in my life.
No, it's important to have closure in a very kind of diplomatic way and say, you know what, because of this and this and this and this,
I can't handle
anymore. And I'm sorry it hasn't worked out, but it's best that we let this done.
We let it go. We are not really happy. We are not into the habit of getting relations, break up, because we are here to make love. We're here to encourage you to make up, build yourselves up, and make the best out of your life. And that is only possible when it is spiced by love. Otherwise, of course, when it gets beyond, there's nothing to do. But we gotta let it go and start it all over again. And we are just trying to let you understand that there is always a time for you to get out if things are not good in there. Otherwise, we still have the other topic to handle. Allow us breathe more. When I return, we shall be transitioning or transcending to the other extra topic. And of course, if you have something special you want to share with us and it is on a personal basis, the number is running on the screen. All you do is just let us know. The moment you text into this number, you are talking either to Shugga directly, or you're talking to Lisa, or you're talking to Waida Ismail, or you're talking to Kenny. Yes, either of those people will always handle that number. If I'm busy, they are the ones handling, but we shall, at the end of the day, handle you. Otherwise, to wind up on this topic, we still had something extra to say, but at least we have said almost everything. And now, in the interest of time, the man behind the camera is already telling me, Shugga, we do not have enough time to accomplish the other topic. So, allow us to end with you at this point, but we are continuing with the topic the next Saturday. Stick to Magic1tv, and of course, it is the glory of love with me, MC Shugga, the King of Hearts.